The following is a paid program sponsored by the friends and partners of Faith Life Now.
I can't change anyone. I can only change how I communicate with those people or how I deal with the problems that are in front of me. And so when I would hit challenges in my life, I'm not looking at changing the person. Okay. It's I need a skill set. I need to learn something new to help me get better in this particular area.
Welcome to Drenda. I'm so excited about today's program. Our daughter Amy's joining us today, and we have so much excitement for you. Dani Johnson is with us, best-selling author, mother of 5. She's a radio, TV, talk show host, does all kinds of incredible success teachings and family teachings, financial teachings. What do you not do, Dani? Welcome to the program. Good to have you.
I have a garden too.
Yeah, do you really? Wow. And you cook.
And I cook.
You're one of the few women left in America that still cook.
And I'm doing what I can to get other women to cook.
Yes, yes.
You lose weight.
Yes, you lose weight, but you also build a lot of family time.
Yes.
So today we're talking about grooming the next generation for success with Dani. And Dani, I know I would like for you just to share a little bit about your story. I know we were talking about it earlier. Mm-hmm. What did life start out like for you?
I was groomed to fail. I was clearly groomed to fail. My parents were violently abusive. They were drug addicts and on welfare. So I was groomed to fail financially. I was groomed to fail relationally because my relationship teachers were obviously my parents, and that was a very
they have their act together.
Very abusive. You know, they beat each other up, and also my stepfather, because actually I found out when I was almost 18 he wasn't even my dad. That was wonderful. But anyway, so yeah, I was violently abused. I was sexually abused. I was emotionally abused. I was verbally abused. Picked up by the throat, shoved up against the wall to be cursed at by a man that was 6'10", 350 pounds. Wow. Kicked across the room like a football. My sister's, head beaten to the sheetrock with the towel bar. So this was my marriage training, my parenting training, and the financial training of my parents always fighting 2-3 days before the 1st of the month and the 15th of the month when the welfare check was coming. So not to mention the fact that we were all groomed to fail through our school system.
Sure.
14,000 hours of school that we have from kindergarten to the 12th grade, and out of 14,000 hours of school, there was not a single class on starting a business, not a single class on wise or foolish spending, how to
balance a checkbook,
how to balance a checkbook,
how to raise a great family, how to have children, a good
communication
marriage,
skills,
communication, anything.
skills,
what did we learn?
Emotional skills.
Algebra.
Yeah, because we
all need that.
Yeah, exactly. How many? What about geometry? I mean, how many geometric equations have I done in my life? Exactly.
I was homeschooled, and I tried to tell her this, Mom, I don't need to learn algebra. I'm never going to use it. I promise. But she still made me take it.
Well, we sort of got it right. So.
Yeah. So
it
anyway,
turned out great.
I was totally groomed to fail in every way, and certainly not intentionally. There's every teacher out there has a heart to help kids and to help kids succeed.
Absolutely.
It's the system that's broken. Yeah, and same with my parents. There's no question in my mind that my parents didn't how could I mess my kids up? That's not what happened. They came from messed up backgrounds, and
it just propagates.
Absolutely, and it gets worse and worse and worse generation and generation to come. So anyway, so when I was 17 and I ended up pregnant out of wedlock, and I lived in a little town of 700 people that had more churches than gas stations. Whoa. And so you can only imagine what
you were the talk of the town.
Yes, and I was gossiped about and slandered and lied about, and it was terrible. I was the one that was the girl who seduced him because my parents didn't go to church, because my parents were drug addicts and the whole town knew it, and his parents were the high up in the church people, so, poor guy. Anyway, so, I had a lot of failures coming out of the childhood that I had, and I'm responsible for my response to my childhood, and I didn't make the best choices coming out of the childhood that I had. So I ended up homeless at 21. I met and married a guy that I only knew for 7 days.
Oh my goodness.
He was really cute. It was a bad idea. Yeah.
So that didn't last.
No. Within 4 months, I was 3,000 miles away from home and homeless. Wow. $2.03 to my name, a $35,000 debt, and suicidal. I fought every day to stay alive. But suicide wasn't a new thing to me. first time I tried to commit suicide, I was 6 years old. So that wasn't a new thought process, but now I'm homeless. Now I was worse off than my parents, right? Because at least my parents always had a roof over their head. I was doing drugs. I was sleeping around. It's pretty much how I was, who I was dating, if that's what you want to call it. But yeah, I had a defining moment when I was homeless. I had hit my lowest of lows. And for me, the lowest lows was when cocaine got introduced to our family. That's when the violence intensified greatly. Like, you know, it was already so bad, but now it was.
Addictions do that.
Yeah, well, they would always done drugs my entire life, so that wasn't anything new. But specifically, cocaine was the one that was, whoa. It was a different monster that was in the house. And so I had done a line of cocaine on Christmas Eve. And I was drunk out of my mind. I was stoned out of my mind. I was completely out of my mind at this party. I actually got a job as a cocktail waitress, and so that's where it happened. And I remember the next morning just fiending for it. I can't tell you where I slept that night or who with. All I remember is arriving, being at the beach party the next day, and fiending for it. Everything in me, Drenda, everything in my entire makeup wanted it. I almost sold my body. I would have become a cocaine prostitute if it was available at that very moment on that beach. That's what I wanted it so bad. It totally controlled me. And so I couldn't find any, and I was frustrated, so I went into the ocean. I dove underneath the wave, and I came up, and I heard an audible voice say, "Pick up your mat and walk." And the fiending left. The desire for it was gone instantly. I went to my beach mat, I rolled it up, and I hiked the mile out to my car, and I had a conversation going on in my head. Like, you failure, you loser, just drive off a cliff. You're never gonna amount to anything. Your father hated you, your husband hated you.
Such a lie.
Yes, and the other side saying, this is
I heard
not
those
the life.
voices too when I was younger. That's why I did this program, because I heard those voices too.
Yeah.
And how many young women have destroyed their lives and ended in suicide?
Yes.
Because
Yes.
and how many are depressed? And maybe that's you too. Maybe right now you're relating to Dani's story. There's hope, isn't there,
Yes,
Dani?
there is.
God was there for you that day.
He was absolutely
So
there
what
for
happened?
me. So the other side of the voice, this other voice that was saying, this is not the life that I've chosen for you. Step up, rise up, and do something with your life. And so the very next day, I started a business from the trunk of my car in a payphone booth, not knowing what I was doing at all, not knowing where this would take me. Just I wanted to get money so that I could get an apartment and no longer be homeless. I was tired of being terrified every single night, wondering, am I going to be raped? Am I going to be beaten? Am I going to be stolen from? You know, I didn't know. So.
And the streets are full of homeless girls right now.
Yes.
They're trafficking their bodies to just get a
And
meal. Some of them are even going to school during the day and being trafficked all night. And they're trying to get out, just like what you said. They don't want to do that.
No.
They don't want to, but they don't feel like they have any family.
Exactly.
They're homeless. They're hopeless.
Yes, and everyone in their life, just as what was in mine, has always wronged you.
Yes.
So when you've always been accused, or you've always been put down and condemned, or kicked out, or rejected and abandoned, that's just what you expect everyone to do. And so my heart was to help other people who were hurting and were struggling, and to help them to succeed. I had to focus on something else that would kind of take me away from what I was going through. So I started that business from the trunk of my car in a payphone booth, and my first 4 days, I made $2,000, and that got me into an apartment. That next 45 days, I made $18,000. My first year, I made $250,000. By the end of my second year, I made my first $1 million. That was by the time I was 23. Today, 23 years old, made $1 million, and now I had 2 companies. I had started a second company in that second year. Today, which is shocking, okay, I'm a high school dropout who went back the last couple months of my pregnancy because I was a pregnant teen, and one of those, I'm a multiple of statistics. Of all the wrong
and you've
statistics.
defied them all.
Exactly.
Yeah, you
defied them all.
With God's help, obviously. I mean, he gave me a chance to do something with my life. But today, I'm a best-selling author. My books are taught in universities, and I was a kid who didn't read my first book till I was 21. Wow. I was dyslexic. I couldn't read. I couldn't understand. I travel and speak all over the world, and it blows my mind. I've spoken for crowds of 15,000 people. I speak every single month in a different city around the world. We have 5 children. I'm a TV and radio show host. Give me a break, man. I was the least likely person ever to succeed.
But what a shining example,
right? Sitting in an interview with Oprah Winfrey, really? Fox and Friends. I'm called an expert in the whole media world for finance, business, and relationships. What? What? I was a homeless woman 22 years ago. Really?
That's awesome.
So it's just proof of that you can groom yourself for success.
Yes.
And also groom the next generation for success using principles that work.
I want to go there. When we come back after this break, we're going to go there because you're just blowing me away with your story. And I heard it, but I'm just amazing. We'll be right back with more. We're going to talk about how you can groom the next generation for success. And maybe you find yourself in the situation that Dani was in. There's more answers. Stay with us.
Do you want to know the secret to grooming your children for success? Dani Johnson's book, Grooming the Next Generation for Success, will give you proven strategies to help you raise your kids to be successful in life. With a gift of $30, you can get these tools to help you raise successful kids who mature into successful adults by using the right grooming techniques. It's easy and will help you become more successful too. Mother of 5 and successful entrepreneur Dani Johnson has coached and mentored tens of thousands of clients to become successful. And without exception, their biggest stumbling blocks to achievement were the things they learned while they were kids. These strategic tools help not only children and young people, but also those who are teaching them. Also included in today's powerful offer is Pastor Gary and Drenda's audio series, Family with a Purpose. Learn from a family who has done it. Listen as the Keesee family teaches how to become a family with a purpose. This 4-CD set comes with practical and inspiring messages on parenting, keeping a common vision, using faith in your family, and protecting the gift in your children. Family with a Purpose is a family survival kit for today. This $30 offer includes Dani Johnson's book, Grooming the Next Generation for Success, and Pastor Gary and Drenda's CD set, Family with a Purpose. Call us or order online to get this powerful offer that will help you groom your family for success.
We're here with Dani Johnson. She's sharing some amazing principles on how to groom the next generation for success. And I know that you guys spent your time and effort to take, and give us those principles for success in our lives. You took the time to homeschool us and teach us how to do business and teach us how to be an entrepreneur. But a lot of kids don't have that. No. Like you were raised with failure and abuse. Yep. How did you overcome that and kind of teach your children something different? Because I know a lot of moms struggle with that. How do I teach my kids something I was never taught?
You're learning parenting while you're learning life at the same time.
Yes.
Right?
Right. Yeah.
I can relate to that a little bit
most
too.
people aren't. Most people aren't at all. And honestly, it's what I learned in business is how I raised my kids.
Okay.
So all the communication skills, motivating people, understanding different personalities, understanding money, understanding business. And so it was an easy transition for me. And I homeschool also.
Okay.
So in fact, all 5 of the kids have been homeschooled at some point in their educational career. My older 3 have graduated as a homeschooler, and my next 2 will do the same exact thing. So anyway, I had, I had companies, and so when you're running companies, at least for me, I don't. There's not a lot of other mothers that do that, but I don't know. I didn't know any other way, right? All I figured was, as long as I don't do it was done to me, we'll be good.
But how did you break that cycle? Because moms don't intend to do the same things, but it seems to be a generational curse that just propagates.
It takes God to
but
do
you
that.
have to, how did you overcome those thoughts and feelings from your past?
I had to work on myself. I have a really close relationship with the Lord, and I have a strong prayer life, and I am an avid Bible studier. I read the Bible cover to cover, and so, and part of, for me, you can't change people, you can only change yourself. And so anytime, and that's a personal law I have, so anytime I come into a situation with my husband or with the kids or with people I work with or the hundreds of thousands of clients that we have, or on the radio show, if I'm on a radio show and I've got a caller, I can't change anyone. I can only change how I communicate with those people or how I deal with the problems that are in front of me. And so when I would hit challenges in my life, I'm not looking at changing the person.
Okay.
It's I need a skill set. I need to learn something new to help me get better in this particular area.
How to deal with this
And
person.
your children catch what you are. If you're doing business, we did the same thing. We had our kids right with us doing business. If we had to go to, back then you had to go to the copy store to make newsletters and sales brochures. They were with us. They were learning.
I remember many nights where we were getting ready for a sales meeting that, helping mom and dad get ready for it.
And they're catching what we're learning in God's Word too.
Totally.
What I'm trying to become, I'll never forget the revelation of when she was probably about 18 months old, and I just got all upset because I wanted everything a certain way, and I just blew it, and I had this whole fit of rage. And a lot of times you'll change for your kids, and you won't do it for your husband. But when the kids come, you look at yourself and you see this mirror, and you see the ugly, and you think, I do not want to poison my child. I don't want to ruin them. I remember having this fit of rage when she was about 18 months old, and it was just so ugly. And I ran out of the house, and I remember sitting on the swing set and having this come to Jesus meeting where I was like, God, help me, please. This perfection thing, because I was trying to perform to get identity because of that rejection thing you grow up with. You just want identity. And I was like, God, please help me. I do not want my daughter to learn this behavior. And I began to change. I began to, like you said, read my Bible. Okay, God, I don't know how to raise this child. I don't know how to do this thing. Show me, Lord. And I depended on him. When you don't have that background, sometimes you depend even more. I think you don't take it for granted.
That's true.
So, you're grooming your kids.
Yes, and what happens is that it's really simple to look at our society today and to see where the holes are and that need to be plugged. And our school systems aren't grooming the kids to understand finances, how to make money, how to keep it, how to turn it into their slave. They're not learning and also in the home, majority of the homes, and we know the facts. 98% of the population is dead or dead broke at the age of 65, depend on their family, friends, and federal government for their main source of income. So when we look at the school system and we look at the home, we can see clearly why we have a $15.9 trillion debt in consumer debt.
Absolutely.
So it's easy to see who we vote into office based on
what they hand us.
And who we are, who we've been trained to be. And so I've always known that we can be trained and learn new skills to become anything that we want to be. And kids can learn it much faster than us messed up adults.
It's all up here, right?
Absolutely. It's all on how you train and develop their mind and develop in them with skill sets of leadership and emotional skills. What do you do when you're bullied on the playground? You don't just hold that in and get mad and bully your brothers and sisters at home when you get home, right? No, so most parents, it is a huge problem, and most parents don't know how to diffuse those situations or even to see it.
What would you say? What would you say to that parent?
There's scripts in this book.
Yeah.
This book, I literally wrote scripts on how to discipline
how to tell your kids.
Yes, how to have the conversation about their identity and idolizing somebody else's clothes or idolizing stuff. What do you say? Literally, there are scripts inside of the book.
This book has changed lives all over.
Tens of thousands of lives we have heard from people that has completely changed. Sam Bart is one example. His mom was over 300 pounds when she first came to us. She actually saw me on Benny Hinn. Her husband actually saw me on Benny Hinn, and he sent her to my training seminar called First Steps to Success. She spent some time on the website. She didn't want to come. They were flat broke. They were absolutely flat broke. Her son was suicidally depressed. Wow. He was 50 pounds overweight. He was failing in school. He had been handcuffed for selling drugs at school. He was addicted to pornography. Mom is over 300 pounds. She had been walked out twice on her job with no pay, warnings on her job with no pay, and they couldn't afford to have no pay. So Adeline changed her life. Got a hold of Grooming the Next Generation for Success and the home study course, and she began to use it with her son. Right away, the two of them start living. Yes, they're both. She's learning how
together.
Exactly.
Yes.
She's learning how to groom herself for success because mom and dad missed out a few things, which is how she ended up where she was. So she filled in her blanks through the training, and she began to use it with him. He was 13 at the time. Okay, now he's 17. He has businesses. He's the youth group leader at his church. He's a straight A student. He has money in the bank. He's actually teaching classes called Grooming the Next Generation for Success. He's leading other kids. Mom has lost 125 pounds. Mom has paid off $130,000 worth of debt.
Yay.
Hello?
Wow.
Yes.
Mom got promoted in her job. Now she has a corner office. She has a corner office and she's in charge of management and training of other people. I mean, a complete life transformation. And why?
They renewed their mind.
No, they learned, yes, they did that, but they learned specific communication skills, specific financial skills, specific problem-solving skills that decrease the stress in the house immediately. Like instantly, the stress level came down. There was love and harmony that was being produced inside of the house. They had agreement on finances of how to live financially, and this whole family has been transformed.
A lot of times people get into the wrong things and the wrong stuff because they're hurting, and they don't have the skills to negotiate through life to get out of their situation. You know, I know all of us parents want something better for our kids, right? That's always the goal. We want something better. And I really challenge you today, get grooming the next generation for success. We're going to go into a break right now, but I want you to get this. It's not too late. It's not too late to change your life, your children's lives. You do not have to live in that place you are today. You don't have to stay there. I'm proof of it. Dani's proof of it. There's a whole bunch of us that could say, hey, you can change things. You're not powerless. It's not hopeless. We'll talk about it some more when we come back in just a minute.
Do you want to know the secret to grooming your children for success? Dani Johnson's book, Grooming the Next Generation for Success, will give you proven strategies to help you raise your kids to be successful in life. With a gift of $30, you can get these tools to help you raise successful kids who mature into successful adults by using the right grooming techniques. It's easy and will help you to become more successful too. Mother of 5 and successful entrepreneur Dani Johnson has coached and mentored tens of thousands of clients to become successful, and without exception, their biggest stumbling blocks to achievement were the things they learned while they were kids. These strategic tools help not only children and young people, but also those who are teaching them. Also included in today's powerful offer is Pastor Gary and Drenda's audio series, Family with a Purpose. Learn from a family who has done it. Listen as the Keesee family teaches how to become a family with a purpose. This 4-CD set comes with practical and inspiring messages on parenting, keeping a common vision, using faith in your family, and protecting the gift in your children. Family with a Purpose is a family survival kit for today. This $30 offer includes Dani Johnson's book, Grooming the Next Generation for Success, and Pastor Gary and Drenda's CD set, Family with a Purpose. Call us or order online to get this powerful offer that will help you groom your family for success.
We are back with Dani Johnson, amazing woman, success motivator, you name it, you've done it. Best author, TV talk show host, radio show host. I'm just so impressed with everything that I'm learning from you, and wow. We've raised 5 children, had success there, but some of the success principles you're sharing with me, I wish I would have known. We're going to get them yet. So what would you say, Dani, to moms and dads about how to train their children in the area of money? It's a huge thing in our world. There's a lot of issues with debt, a lot of issues with entitlement. So what do you do to overcome that?
Well, entitlement, actually, it's like a disease in our country right now. And it's actually not just this country, because I travel all over the world. It's everywhere. It's absolutely everywhere. And we actually, our generation did it, you know. We're guilty of it. And this is what we did. I'm going to give my kids everything I didn't get. That is the worst thing you could ever do. That is the worst thing.
Unless it's character or wisdom.
Exactly. Which I didn't get those either. But anyway, that is the worst thing you can do. And that's what parents do. And so you see kids with designer this and designer. My kids had Walmart jeans. I'm a millionaire. My kids had Walmart jeans.
We still shop at Walmart.
Right. So
I work for what I have. You work for that.
Exactly. They need to be taught how to work. And so what we do is we pass on bad financial habits into our children. And that's the worst thing that we could do because they pay a price later on in life.
Yes.
You think about how many divorces happen every year because of financial problems.
Right.
And the financial
80%.
problems, exactly. And the financial problems aren't just because of a bad economy. No, it's bad financial skill sets. That's
as a
what it is.
nation and as an individual.
Absolutely. And you can change your own personal economy, and you can change, every mother, every father can change the economy of the home. And so we've seen this where the parents have learned what's in Grooming the Next Generation for Success with the home study course. And we've seen that the kids have started their own businesses, or mom and dad didn't even come up with it for them. They're like, I want to start a business. I got a 9-year-old that wanted to start a business, and he wrote out a script. Okay, he went onto my website, which is DaniJohnson.com, and he learned some scripting. He writes out a script, he goes door to door, and he started a dog pooping up pig business. Dog poop pickup business, okay? He writes a script.
He saw a need, that's a business.
Exactly, it is.
Right.
So mom would stand at the curb and he'd knocking on doors and he got himself some clients. And then he learned what to do with the money. He didn't spend the money. He didn't make the money to go and buy a new Wii or to buy new shoes or any of that. No.
PlayStation 4.
No, it is very simple to learn wealth principles that are easy, that a 3rd grader can do. I have kids that are learning to accumulate wealth with mom and dad. Anybody can
I have a
learn.
17-year-old that's doing that. We can't get her to spend any of her money.
Which is awesome.
She will spend ours, but she won't spend hers. But she's
That's
very
where you
frugal.
gotta cut that
But she's
off.
very frugal, though, even about spending our money. I have to talk her into it, But I think it's because our kids were all raised with that culture of, I know you guys used to ride in the car, and you and Tim would look at a new car that would drive up beside us.
We like that
they were like
that house or
5 or
car,
7,
but-
and Tim would say, Amy, would you have that car if you could have it with no debt? And they're like 7 years old, So
Here's a conversation financially that happens in our house. It is 98% of the population, the money goes from dumb to smart. 98% of the people's money goes to 2% of the population who have the wealth in the world. Yes. And so whenever someone's, like, for example, my son would say, oh gosh, can I get one of them Wiis? Evan has one, and that was his best friend. I'm like, well, we'll go ahead and let Evan's parents pay for that. And you have to make a decision. Do you want to be in the 98% or you want to be in the 2%? It's real easy to learn how to succeed financially. Look at what everybody else is doing.
And don't do it.
And do the opposite.
Right.
They're going to go spend a couple $100 in some game. You're going to keep the couple $100 and buy some gold, silver, or cattle, or start a business or something. But do not throw money into spending, and don't let your identity be caught up in what you have.
That's good. I think our generation sees it as an
Yes.
identity thing with
Yes.
having the right phone, eating at
think
the
it was
right
vanity.
store, all those types of things. It's all about, and it's selfishness
It is.
too.
It is.
The whole entitlement mentality goes
Well,
back
when you're
to
not happy, you think something is going to make you happy,
It
and it
doesn't.
doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
absolutely
When you've had
doesn't.
success, the thing that really you enjoy is giving and sharing
Yes.
and helping someone.
Yes.
But you can't do it for them.
No.
But you can do it with them, and you
Yes.
can give them the tools
Yes.
and encouragement.
Yes,
so, which is what you
absolutely.
do every week, every day.
Yes, yes.
And you're doing that with kids. And this book,
Yes.
Grooming the Next Generation for Success. Do you cover money in here too?
Of course.
Yes,
What are you
of
talking
course, 'cause
about?
if you don't do that, you fail. Right?
Absolutely.
They
We
can't
can't
handle
set
money.
kids up for financial failure. Generations have set their kids up for financial failure, and it's simple, little, tiny principles. These are not hard. You do not have to be an economist. You don't have to be a financial expert. Kids are
I love what you
understanding
said.
this.
You've got to make money, figure out a way to make
How
money.
to keep it.
And then how to keep it.
And turn it into your slave.
And then turn it into your slave. That's
Yes.
good.
being a slave to money.
Exactly. Rather than being a slave to money,
Yes.
go, make some more.
Right.
And I'm not going to
Things
work
are to
for it.
serve us. We're not to serve things. And when we start serving things and they become our identity, everything gets upside down, and then we lose. Everybody loses, right? And you lose your children. You don't want to lose your children.
You do.
Everything you can lose, but if you lose your children, to me, if you lose your
It's the
soul
worst.
or you lose your children,
It's the worst.
that's the worst.
It's the absolute worst.
So thank you for joining us today again, Dani. So much good stuff. Love it. Make sure you get Dani's book, Grooming the Next Generation for Success, and you can have success with your kids. God
Yes.
promises it.
Yes.
It's not a hit or miss. It's not a luck thing.
No.
It's a work for it, invest
Yes.
in the right things,
Yes.
and teach them and model it for them. All right. Thanks for joining us.
This has been a paid program sponsored by the friends and partners of Faith Life Now.